Think about this. Around the world, a new case of dementia develops roughly every 3 seconds. It's a fear that touches almost every family, a shadow that can loom over the idea of getting older. But what if I told you that for many of us, it doesn't have to be our fate? What if the key to protecting our mind isn't locked away in a high-tech lab, but is something we can all access right now, through simple, daily choices? The latest research is painting a powerful picture of hope. A landmark report from the Lancet Commission suggests that by tackling certain lifestyle factors, we could prevent or delay up to 40% of dementia cases worldwide. This isn't about some magic pill. It's about building a more resilient brain, one day at a time. In this video, we're going to unpack 5 of the most powerful science-backed habits you can start today to help dementia-proof your brain. First, let's be clear about what we're up against. Dementia isn't one single disease. It's a general term for conditions involving a loss of cognitive function like thinking, remembering, and reasoning, so much so that it gets in the way of a person's daily life. Alzheimer's is the most common form, making up the vast majority of cases. Right now, about 7.2 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's. And that number is projected to swell to nearly 14 million by 2060 if we do unsee major breakthroughs. It's easy to hear those numbers and feel a little helpless. We've all seen the devastating toll it can take, not just on the person, but on their whole family. But here's the game-changing idea I want you to grab onto. Your genes are not your destiny. For example, a major 2022 study in the journal Neurology found that even people with a high genetic risk for Alzheimer's could slash their dementia risk by adopting 7 healthy lifestyle habits. It turns out, what's good for the heart is good for the brain. This flips the script, moving us from a place of fear to a place of empowerment. The choices you make every single day are sending messages to your brain, telling it to either weaken or grow stronger. So, let's focus on the choices that build strength. The first habit is maybe the most powerful, and you can start it the second this video is over. Get physically active. If your brain is a high-performance engine, think of physical activity as its premium fuel and tune-up service, keeping it running smoothly for life. Here's the science. When you get moving, especially with aerobic exercise that gets your heart pumping, you boost blood flow to your entire body, including your brain. This isn't just a tiny trickle. It's a surge of oxygen-rich blood that feeds your brain cells. It's like an express delivery service for nutrients and a garbage disposal for waste, all in one. On top of that, exercise actually sparks the growth of new brain cells and connections, a process called neurogenesis. Research has even shown that a year of regular exercise can increase the size of the brain's memory centers. A bigger, more connected brain is a more resilient brain, better able to handle the changes that can lead to dementia. So, what's the game plan? Experts recommend aiming for at least 150 minutes of moderate-intensity exercise a week. That just means you're breathing a little harder, you feel a bit warmer, but you could still chat with a friend. This could be a brisk 30-minute walk 5 days a week, a dance class, swimming, or cycling. The real key is consistency, and don't sleep on strength training. Lifting weights, using resistance bands, or doing bodyweight exercises a few times a week helps manage blood sugar and lower the risk of diabetes, which is a big risk factor for dementia. The best exercise is the one you'll actually do. So start small, stick with it, and think of every step as a direct investment in your future mind. You wouldn't put cheap gas in a sports car, right? So why would we do that to our own brains? The second habit is all about adopting a brain-healthy diet, and the science overwhelmingly points to one plan in particular, the MIND diet. MIND is short for Mediterranean-Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. Researchers at Rush University developed it by combining the best parts of the famous Mediterranean and DASH diets. The results have been pretty incredible. One major study found that people who stuck to the MIND diet strictly lowered their risk of Alzheimer's by as much as 53%. But here's the best part, even those who only followed it moderately well still cut their risk by about 35%. That proves you don't have to be perfect to get huge benefits. The MIND diet works by focusing on foods packed with nutrients that protect the brain, things like antioxidants and healthy fats that fight inflammation and oxidative stress, 2 key culprits in brain aging. The diet highlights 10 brain-healthy food groups to load up on. These are things like leafy greens, like spinach and kale. Aim for at least 6 servings a week. All other veggies, nuts, berries especially, blueberries and strawberries, beans, whole grains, fish, poultry, and using olive oil as your go-to fat. At the same time, it tells you to limit 5 unhealthy groups: red meats, butter, cheese, pastries and sweets, and fried or fast food. Your move is to start with one small change. You don't have to trash your entire pantry overnight. Maybe this week, just try adding 1 more serving of leafy greens to your day, or snack on a handful of nuts instead of chips. Make sure you eat berries at least twice a week. As the nutritional epidemiologist who developed the diet said, blueberries are one of the more potent foods in terms of protecting the brain. Every healthy swap is a win for your long-term brain health. The third habit is built on a simple but powerful idea: use it or lose it. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you challenge it in new ways, the stronger and more flexible it gets. This is all about building your cognitive reserve. Think of it like a mental backup generator for your brain. A lifetime of learning and tackling mentally tough tasks helps your brain build a super dense network of connections. So, when signs of aging or disease start to appear, a brain with a high cognitive reserve can simply find a different route to get the job done, maintaining function for much longer. The science here is just cool. Taking on new and complex activities triggers neuroplasticity, the brain's amazing ability to rewire itself. When you learn a new language, pick up a guitar, or even just take a new route home, you are physically changing your brain's structure, making it tougher and more resilient. A 2020 study from the University of California confirmed that a lifestyle packed with cognitive challenges, paired with other healthy habits, can seriously reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's. The secret is to step outside your comfort zone. Doing the same crossword puzzle every day is fine, but eventually, it's just routine. The real magic happens when an activity is both new and challenging. So, your mission is to pick something you've always wanted to learn and give it a little time each week. Maybe it's learning a new language on an app, signing up for that pottery class, or joining a book club that pushes you to read new things. It's not about becoming a world-class expert, it's the process of learning itself that builds those protective brain pathways. We're more than halfway through, and I hope you're already feeling a bit more in control of your brain's future. We just talked about the power of learning something new. So, I've got a question for you. What's one new skill or hobby you've been thinking about trying? Drop it in the comments below. It's a great way to make a little promise to yourself, and you might just inspire someone else to start their own journey. And hey, if you're getting value from this video, a quick tap of the like button really helps the channel out. Now, let's get to habit number 4. In a world that feels increasingly digital and sometimes disconnected, this next habit is more critical than ever. Nurture your social connections. We tend to think of health in terms of diet and exercise, but science is making it crystal clear that social connection is just as vital for our brain health as food and water. The evidence is powerful. A recent advisory from the U.S. Surgeon General warned that chronic loneliness can increase the risk of dementia in older adults by a shocking 50%. It turns out that a lack of social connection can be as bad for your health as smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. On the flip side, people who are more socially engaged consistently show better brain health. Meaningful interactions are like a workout for your brain. They force you to use language, memory, and focus. They also help slash stress, which is a major enemy of the brain. Plus, positive relationships trigger the release of feel-good brain chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin, which boost your mood and neuronal health. Your actionable takeaway is to be intentional about your relationships. This isn't about how many followers you have. It's about the quality of your real-life interactions. Make a point to call a friend instead of just shooting a text. Schedule a weekly coffee date, join a club, a volunteer group, or a class centered around something you enjoy. Even small, friendly chats with a neighbor or a cashier add to this feeling of connection. We're hardwired for community. By honoring that basic need, you're actively building a healthier, happier, and more resilient brain. Our final habit is the one we're quickest to sacrifice, but it's a non-negotiable for brain health. Getting consistent high-quality sleep. For a long time, we thought of sleep as just switching off. We now know it's one of the most active and important times for brain maintenance. Think of deep sleep as your brain's nightly power cleanse cycle. While you're sleeping, a remarkable thing happens. The brain's glymphatic system, its very own waste clearance, kicks into overdrive. It works to flush out toxins and metabolic junk that build up while you're awake. One of these toxins is a protein called beta amyloid, which forms the sticky plaques that are a hallmark of Alzheimer's. If you don't get enough quality sleep, this cleanup process gets cut short, allowing those toxins to build up. Studies have shown that even one single night of bad sleep can increase amyloid levels in the brain. This might even be a two-way street. Poor sleep could raise dementia risk, and the brain changes from dementia can then make sleep even worse. Your move here is to treat your sleep with the same respect you give your diet and exercise. Aim for a solid 7 to 9 hours a night to improve your sleep quality. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. Dim the lights, put away screens for at least an hour before bed, and make your bedroom a cool, dark, and quiet sanctuary. Try to avoid big meals, caffeine, and alcohol too close to bedtime. And if you struggle with something like sleep apnea, which robs the brain of oxygen, getting it treated is absolutely critical, as it's a major risk factor. Protecting your sleep is one of a very direct way you can protect your brain. So there you have it, 5 powerful science-backed habits to help you build a stronger, more resilient brain. Let's do a quick recap. Move your body. Get at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise each week, plus a little strength training. Fuel with the mind diet. Load up on leafy greens, berries, and whole foods while cutting back on the processed stuff. Challenge your brain. Be a lifelong learner, and always push your mental comfort zone. Stay connected. Intentionally nurture your real-world relationships and community ties. And prioritize sleep. Guard your 7 to 9 hours a night so your brain's cleaning crew can do its job. The real takeaway here is a message of hope and empowerment. While there are 100% guarantees, and some things are out of our hands, so much of our brain's destiny truly is within our control. Up to 40% of dementia cases may be preventable or delayed by the very habits we've talked about today. These aren't impossible changes. They are small, consistent choices that add up over time to build a powerful defense system for your mind. You have the power, starting today, to take action. Which one of these habits are you going to start with this week? Share your commitment in the comments below. Writing it down makes it more real, and your journey might just be the inspiration someone else in this community needs. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more about living a healthier, more vibrant life, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for watching, and here's to building a better brain. Together,